Hey, I'm Claire, and I'm going to tell you a little story that is hard to believe happens in our United States of America. First of all, let me just start by saying that I wish everyone well who has coronavirus. I wouldn't wish anyone to be ill with coronavirus, or I don't want anyone to die unnecessarily. I wish the best for everyone, regardless of how I feel about them and my past experiences with them. But with that said, let me tell you the story of how Trump tried to kill me again. Trump and I go way back. We are related. How are we related? Yeah, we did not grow up in the same family, but we are blood relatives. His mother is not his genetic mother, the mother who gave birth to him. The woman who is his genetic mother is also my genetic mother. Her name is Margaret Illig Flanagan, and she died back in 1982. And I was her sole heir. And I'm still waiting to receive the money that is mine and has been mine since my birth on October 21st, 1965. But Trump, being older than me, even though he didn't even grow up in my family, I grew up with Margaret as my grandmother on my mother's side. And, but Trump, we didn't even know Donald Trump. I mean, yeah, I did, because he kept visiting me wherever I lived, following me like a stalker. And, because I have money, always have had money, that he parades around like it's his. He doesn't even state how much money it is. He just makes up a number in the billions, but it's much more than that. And, he tries to take credit for it, but it's my money, not his. And, I was born, with all this money. I'm supposed to be the richest person in the world. And, Putin is holding a lot of it. And that's why Trump is so soft with him, because I don't know, maybe he does get money out of Putin. Maybe Putin throws him a little here and a little there just to get him to do what he wants, so that the truth will be revealed. Putin is not our enemy, Trump. People like Trump are our enemy in reality. But a lot of politicians don't want you to believe that, because they all want to put their hand in the pot and take my money, right? They think it belongs to the U.S. government. It doesn't. It belongs to me, Claire Elisabeth Elliott. So anyway, I don't have any access to this money. I'm about to turn 55 on October 21st. And you'd think that on my 55th birthday, maybe it would be time to give Claire her money. But I have no way of knowing if that's even in the plans. I don't know. Every birthday that goes by, I keep thinking, oh, this is the time. This is the birthday. Yeah, age 54. Yeah, age 53. Yeah, age 51. Yeah, the big 50. I've been doing this for years, and I'm so tired of it. And this year, I don't know what to think. But 55, it's an even number. It's like halfway up to 60. I'll officially be a senior citizen. Maybe that will earn me the respect of all these people who have control of my money, to finally urge them to give it to Claire, the senior citizen. Yeah, I can now go to IHOP and Burger King, and I don't need my husband, who is a senior citizen already, to get a senior meal. I'm really, for years when I was homeless, I really was jealous of all the senior citizens that got all the discounts that I wanted and needed. And now I get them. I know there are some organizations that won't respect your senior citizen status until you're a little older. But, you know, most respect you as a senior citizen when you're 55. So I earned that in a few days. I mean, a few weeks. Today's date is the 3rd, so that's 18 days, right? 18 days. You know, that was the age. 18 was the age I was supposed to get my money. You know, but my mother failed to take me to the bank. So I'm still talking about it at age 50, almost 55. And, you know, my mother can't complain. I mean, she's 80, whatever. This February, she's gonna be turning, she was born in 39. So this February, she'll be like 82 or something. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I think my grandmother was not cool. I think she was a little older than that when my mother killed her by lethal injection. But that's another story and another video. Okay, so Trump, you know, so many people try to kill me and it never works out. Sorry, I have a couple flies in this house. I don't know, they keep bothering me. So on Labor Day 2020, I'm not sure of the date. Was it the 7th? I think it was September 7th. It was a Monday. And I was so happy that NTB was open to replace my 2 tires that were about to explode. I had replaced 2 of my tires back in May. My 2 other tires were ready to be replaced on Labor Day, and I was so happy they were open. So I took it down there, dropped off my car. They said it was going to take dropped it off at 11. They said it'd be ready by 1. It never's ready when they say it's going to be ready. But I think they called me around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I got my car after that. I don't have coronavirus as far as I know, so excuse me. So I dropped my car off and I picked it up around, I would say around 4 or so, even though it was ready at like 2:33. And it might have been 4:30 by the time I picked it up. And it was my husband who noticed that my 2 center cap mounts were missing. You know, to take tires off my wheels, it is not necessary to remove my center cap mounts. But for some reason, one of the techs in the garage decided to take them off and steal them. Now, these are not very expensive. We couldn't find any more in the junkyard. But you know, they're not that expensive or anything. They're hard to come by. You have to order them from China and stuff. But you know, they're not very valuable or anything. They're just maybe a little. It just might be a little convenient to take them off somebody else's car instead of waiting for them to arrive from China or finding them. You know, they're not in the junkyards here in Augusta, Georgia right now. So. They're very unique to my Montero Sport. You know, Montero Sports have, I don't know if it's all Mitsubishis, but it's a different kind of center cap mount than you find on other cars. So that's something my husband noticed right away, and I insisted that they look for them in the garage, and they did, and they said they couldn't find them. And my husband is home right now. He knows I'm filming. Hi, Dean.
Hi.
I'm filming. I've got all these flies. So they couldn't find them anywhere in their garage. I wonder why. You know, they just serviced my car. Where could they have vanished to? And Chuck emphasize that everything's on video, that, you know, everything is filmed, and that no tech would dare steal something like that because cameras are everywhere. But, you know, but I told him that that's indeed what happened and to examine the video footage. And I insisted that he give me a discount, and he told me he would. And the thing is, what he did to give me this $30 discount was inflate my oil change price, because I got an oil change too, by the way. And he inflated the oil change price back up to the normal price, which I guess is $37.99. It doesn't say that on the sign. It says $24.99. But I had gotten Ryan to promise me a $21.99 oil change. So what Chuck did to give me this $30 discount was put the oil change back at the normal price of $37.99, and then he gave me $30 off of that. According to their records, that's a $30 discount, but to me, that's only a $14 discount. But, you know, that's the way this particular branch of NTB does it, and, you know, I consider them kind of a scam operation. Even though NTB, I think, is a good corporation, even if their computers are a little greedy and rigged to make them money at all times, I still say they are a good, legitimate operation. It's just this particular branch of NTB up in Evans, Georgia, on Washington Road, that I consider to be a scam operation. I saw that when I looked at I saw that he discounted it from the oil change. I didn't ask him for a $30 discount on my oil change because my oil change was only supposed to be $21.99. I asked him for a $30 discount on my entire bill. So, you know, I did see he took it out of the oil change, but, you know, I just thought it was good enough at the time because I was a little frustrated and I just wanted to get out of there. And so I signed the bill and I left. But when I got home, we looked and we saw that they shorted us about 1 liter of oil. And I noticed this whole thing about the oil change and how they inflated it to give me the $30 discount, and that it was really only a $14 discount. Dean, my husband, had to take off both my wheels in order to replace the center cap mounts. Now, we only had one extra one. The other one he got from the junkyard, but it was bent because, you know, the other ones were too tightly on the wheels and he couldn't remove them. And the one he got was bent, so it was no good. And so, but he put both the wheels back on, and one of my center mounts was still missing. But, and he thought, and, you know, my husband's an auto mechanic. He, you know, trained in auto mechanics back, you know, when he was right out of high school. So he works on my car all the time, and he's very familiar with my car. So he knows my lug studs on all my wheels. He's very familiar. He's always been taking off my wheels, replacing the tires, you know, whatever, doing whatever he's doing. He's always working on my car. So we're very familiar with my car. So when he put my wheel back on, you know, he made it as tight as he could, and, you know, he's used to doing this, so he just assumed it was on there all the way and it was tight because he, you know, it's always that way with my car. So I drove away, and as I was driving, you know, driving about, doing my life, my wheels started to wobble, and I didn't know it. I knew my car was not driving quite the same, but I didn't know what it was until a woman in alarm pulled me over to the side of the road and warned me that my rear passenger side wheel was wobbling and that she was really worried for my safety because I could get into an accident and die. It was that bad. She said it was really awful to see, and she wanted me to be aware. And we checked the lug nuts. They were tight as anything. I mean, there was nothing like loose, and she said, well, just drive home really carefully. And I said, well, yeah, I'll have my husband look at it. Thank you very much. And I very carefully drove home, very slowly, and my husband looked at it. the lug nuts were tight as far as we could see. And my other wheel was a little loose, and he thought it was the other wheel that she might have noticed, but she was really sure about what she had seen. And he tightened the other wheel, and I think, and he tried, and then he tried to take off the wheel, and to his surprise, one of the lug studs broke. So it was time to take my car down to to the tire place right near our house. And he took it down there, and he stood there and watched the guy there break 4 more of my 6 lug nuts on my rear passenger wheel. So that's 5 of the 6 lug studs on my passenger rear passenger wheel that broke, which means somebody swapped my lug studs, and I could have died. That woman was so alarmed. The woman who pulled me over, she's like, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. You could get into an accident. I mean, the wheel was about to come off. What happened was, all those lug studs were stripped, I guess is the word. They were stripped. They were old. They were decayed. They weren't my lug studs. None of my lug studs are decayed. And yeah, that is the wheel that gets the most pressure, I understand, from my husband. And those would be the lug studs that would deteriorate faster than the other lug studs on the other wheels. But my lug studs were not in that kind of condition when I took them in to NTB on Labor Day. Somebody swapped them, and I doubt they did it on camera. So, and I told customer service, I doubt it's on camera. I told them to look at the video footage of my car from the time I dropped it off at 11 until the time I picked it up, I don't know, around 4:30. Not just a short period of time. They needed to look at the footage from beginning to end to see their tech drive my car somewhere else to do this to it. So anyway, it'll take like nearly a month for me to receive my check, but I got NTB to reimburse me for the lug studs, the center cap mounts, and the unnecessary charge. Also, there's some sensor kit that I was charged for that Chuck told me was unnecessary for my particular model of Montero Sport. He was the one that told me that, and he still charged me for it, which is really hilarious. So I was reimbursed for that, the lug studs, and the center cap mounts. And I got a coupon for a free oil change. The money all amounted to a little less than $100. Woo! Plus the coupon. That my life is worth a lot more than that. But I'm happy to settle it with NTB. I'm still waiting for my money, but I appreciate the time that Joe and customer service spent on this situation. The accounting department hassled him a little, but we got it taken care of, and I appreciate his help. It was like one of his last acts of excellent customer service before his job ends in a couple weeks, because NTB's customer service call center is now moving to Mexico. So Trump, no, you have not successfully kept all businesses in the United States. This one, NTB's customer call center, that's now in the state of Florida. Your state, your home state, is now moving to Mexico, and these people, including Joe, are losing their job as the result. And Mexicans are getting their jobs because they're moving the call center there. So anyway, you probably are wondering what this has to do with Donald Trump. Well, what it has to do with Donald Trump is that I don't know if you've heard, but in the CIA, people are paid to, the CIA is a corrupt organization. Not everybody in the CIA is bad. There are some good people in there, of course, but there are a lot of bad people. It's a network of fools that are criminals, who are pedophiles, and they've tortured me my entire life because I was born into a CIA family. So I guess the CIA thinks that they own me and all the money that I was born into. And it's disgusting. And they've stripped me of all my rights because, I'm a descendant of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. And so they think I'm some slave in the year 2020. They think I'm black. I know I am technically black because I am Sally Hemings' direct descendant, and I also am the daughter and brother. I'm not the brother. I am also the daughter and sister of Martin Luther King Jr., and I think he's also my grandfather. So, and this is by way of genetic engineering, mind you. So, I am black, but I don't look black. I don't identify as black, but I am. And this is how the CIA strips me of all my rights, just like my lug studs were stripped. And, this is why they justify torturing me, abusing me, and raping me like Trump did on more than one occasion, but one occasion of which I remember, by way of date rape drugs. I can remember things when people drug me with date rape drugs. Yes, I can. And I remember Donald J. Trump raping me when I was a student at John Witherspoon Middle School. I was 12, turning 13, I believe. The year was 1978. Is that right? Yes, it is. And I lived on Riverside Drive in Princeton, New Jersey. Donald would come down with his limo, and I knew his pals. I know the people working on the Prince Andrew case are aching for me to confirm that he was at my house. Yes, Prince Andrew was definitely at my house. It wasn't all the time. It was on a few occasions with Jeffrey Epstein. And, and of course that guy from Harvard, what's his name? The guy that claims he never hung around sex slaves. I'm spacing. What is his name? I know his name. It's, who I'm talking about. The doctor, the professor at Harvard. What's his name, Dean? You don't remember it? I see his face right now in my mind's eye. What's his name? See, he's blocking. He's praying. Are you praying to me? Are you praying to God Almighty that I don't remember or no one listens to me? Anyway, he was at my house a lot when Trump was there, and I the reason I remember is because my own father went to Harvard, and I wanted to connect with him. This is before they drugged me and raped me. I thought that they were just people visiting me and my father. I didn't know what was being done to me because I was drugged all the time. But I remember approaching him and letting him know my father went to Harvard, and he wasn't impressed. And what is his name? But I remember being told by somebody, remember him. He's a really big guy over at Harvard. You know who I'm talking about. And his name, it's just blocked out of my mind right now. He does not want me to say his name, but I'll go and I'll look it up online and I'll put it on the screen. Okay. I tend to go with the flow. I didn't plan on talking about him in this video, so I don't have his name here to look at, to remember, but I will look it up and put it somewhere on this screen so all of you know exactly who I'm talking about, because he's somebody who prides himself on being such a liberal and such a champion for, well, he's not a liberal anymore because he's in cahoots with Trump these days, fighting for Trump, saying he doesn't, you know, that it's unconstitutional to impeach a criminal. I mean, it's ridiculous, the kind of like nonsense he comes up with, all his logic and knowledge that he thinks he's such an expert on. He's ridiculous, and he should be put away too. And that poor sex slave that he humiliated and trashed, how dare him when he did what he did? How dare him? And he got away with it for a long time. And I can see why people who can't imagine him doing such a thing would not believe her and believe him. Such an abuse of authority. It's disgusting. And is he still a professor at Harvard Law School? Shame on you, Harvard. Shame, shame, shame on you. And you know, it's the culture at Harvard. It's the culture at Harvard. And that's why they tolerate it and look the other way. They know how he is, and they just look the other way. Shame, shame on you, Harvard. And you know, the Zodiac Killer was, you know, got his MBA at Harvard Business School. That's my father, Dennis Wayne Elliott. All right, so anyway, this is about NTB though, right? The Harvard of tire places, right? I don't know, not exactly, but so what do I want to say? Nothing really. I guess that's all I want to say. You know, I was explaining about the CIA and how they, you know, my father was a hitman for the CIA. You know, he murdered Marilyn Monroe when she wouldn't agree to marry him. She was, you know, and he murdered Martin Luther King Jr. I know my husband Dean disagrees, but he did. He murdered my father, John F. Kennedy. He's the hitman that did all of that, and he's killed other people. You know, those are just some highlights. And so, you know, when they want to kill somebody, like when Trump, you know, Trump really wants me to go away because, you know, because he can't get my money while I'm alive, I guess. I don't know, or not as much of it as he'd like to get his hands on. So he wants me dead. He wants me dead so he can be the king he thinks he is. He's not king. He wasn't born king. He was not born into my family. I am Queen Claire Elizabeth. But, you know, I'm forced to live in poverty. Well, I'm not living in poverty exactly anymore, but I'm certainly struggling to survive and pay all my bills that I can't afford. And, you know, it's really difficult. And I really resent being put in this situation. I know I learn from everything I go through. So I know it's good training for me and my life, but enough is enough. I am almost 55 years old. Please say happy birthday to me by giving me what is my money. I went through hell in my childhood. I was born to a mother who doctors injected with heroin when I was in utero. I'm the firstborn of triplets. I'm the only normal, healthy firstborn of triplets. My mother also drank gin while we were in utero. It's amazing we ever survived. And I came out healthy and normal. That alone earns me the money I was born into, being the firstborn. So, I mean, I didn't need to do anything else. I didn't need to do one thing more to earn that money, but be the firstborn of my mother, who is an alcoholic and drug addict. Anne Marie Fields is her name now. That's all I had to do to earn that money. That money is mine. But despite all that, I was tortured, I was abused, I was raped again and again from the time I was a baby. My virginity was stolen from me when I was just 18 months old. So Give me my money. I've earned it. You, all of you that hold on to my money, you have not done one thing to earn it. I've earned it. I didn't have to earn it. I just had to be born successfully. But okay, my birth, yes, that was a very hard ordeal, and that alone earned it for me, okay? But you know, technically, all I had to be was born to get that money, okay? Born into my family when I was born and being the firstborn. And still, you know, I didn't have to do anything more. And still you keep the money from me because I'm a woman. That's one thing. And I'm black, and I'm the direct descendant of a slave. In the year 2020, there are not supposed to be any slaves in the United States of America. In 2020, African Americans have equal rights with Caucasians. In 2020, women are equal with men, and actually a little superior, if I might add. So stop the bullshit. Trump, if you were reaching out to me by putting the words in all caps love in your first tweet from the hospital, thank you. Thank you for the mention. You know, my car has love in all caps on the front of it. My husband bought that for me, my husband Dean. And, you know, if that was some kind of shout out, thank you. I know you're a little desperate right now. I wish you the best. But if you get through this, you know, I expect you to do the right thing and declassify me. That's what you need to do. If you aren't going to declassify me, good luck.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile popped a wheel and the Joker got away. Hey!